Inside this bag is everything you need to start an aquarium maintenance company. Except for that, you probably didn't need that. Hey guys, welcome back to thedirtytank.com. My name is Andrew, and today I'm going to show you everything I use for my aquarium maintenance company. So if you've been into fish keeping and you enjoy it, and you enjoy the maintenance part of it specifically, and you're thinking, you know what, I can do this for others, right? I enjoy doing it, you know how. You are able to make some money doing it if you decide you do want to start an aquarium maintenance company. Even if it's just a small side thing, the upstart cost is extremely minimal, and probably you may not need to buy any extra equipment because it's probably all the same stuff that you currently use for your own tanks. But today I'm going to go through everything I use and some of the applications I use for payments and talk about the strategy and things like that. So that if you're interested in starting an aquarium maintenance company or just interested to know how one works, then you can follow along and learn a little bit as well. So let's go ahead and jump into what's in the bag, right? Now, whenever I first set up clients, they're always, and whenever I first set up clients and they had an aquarium maintenance company, someone else before, they're always surprised that this is all I bring. Right? That's it. One bag, just jam-packed. I can hold it in one arm. It makes it so easy, and there really isn't a need for tons of other stuff. Now, on occasion, there is, right? This isn't a one-size-fits-all. I do strictly freshwater, so if you do saltwater, you're thinking about saltwater, the materials, the equipment, they're going to be a little bit different, right? So just take that into note. But let's go ahead and dive into this bag here. So the first thing I have is a test kit. So this is an API master test kit, and I can test pH, I can test ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, all really quickly, right? And so if you haven't, if you don't have a master test kit or just some kind of test kit to test the customer's water, you're gonna wanna get that. Because some customers, they want to know what their pH level is at currently. They want to know what their nitrate levels are at and when you should do water changes and when it's dangerous and when it's not dangerous. And so having a test kit is really good, not just so you know what the water, what's in the water, but also so you can tell that to your customers and educate them as well. So really important if you're going to start an aquarium maintenance company. Normally the way I do it is I normally test their water before I do the water change, and sometimes I do it after. It all depends on if there was currently issues in the tank or not. But if everything's going smoothly, I just do the testing beforehand, and then as part of their invoice, I send those numbers so they kind of know week by week or bi-weekly or monthly, whenever you go to clean their aquarium, they kind of know how things fluctuate, and so do you. And then also if things really spike and is very different from the normal, then you kind of already have visibility to that and you can take action much quicker. So a test kit you definitely need. The next thing that you need is going to be a hose, a siphon. There is some times where you may need a pump or you may need some containers, but in my experience, just a siphon works a-okay, right? So I have a 50-foot hose here, and normally I connect it to whatever faucet they have going, and then I connect it to obviously the inside of the aquarium, and it helps me drain all that pretty quickly without having to move buckets back and forth. Now, the thing about that is that if you have the hose, well, you have to have a way for it to connect to their water source, right? And it comes, whether you get the Python or you get the Higer or you get the Aquarium brand, it doesn't matter, right? They have the hose, and then this part right here connects to the hose, and then this part right here has to connect to their faucet, to your customer's faucet, right? And all faucets are different. And so what I have that's a game changer is one of these. And so this connects to your siphon, right? And then this adapter is a universal adapter. It connects to the top here. and it fits nice and snug. And then this part here just friction fits on top of their faucet, right? And so this fits a wide range of different faucets. And then this little piece here, well, this is what helps to make it stay secure, and that water just doesn't come out from here instead of coming out where it should be coming out. And so having a universal adapter is, you're gonna have to get one because every customer sink is different, and having one of these just makes it easy. You're not gonna have to go hunting for parts for an hour or run to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever it may be. You'll have this part handy, and I use this on all my clients' tanks, and it works amazingly. So I can't recommend this product enough. I'm going to link it down below in the description. So if you're interested in getting this, even just for yourself, it's very nice. Now the next thing I have in here is a ton of these. I probably have like 8 of these in here. And what these are microfiber washcloths. And I actually buy these in bulk. Now these are super soft and very gentle on glass, right? It's microfiber, right? And so they're very absorbed. They can easily absorb water if there's any spillage, and it's amazing at cleaning glass. So the outside of the glass, right? And also I can, put this over my shoulder whenever I'm getting my hands in there. I can easily just wipe my hands so it doesn't drip all over the floor. So having some type of really good quality cloth works. Now you don't have to get this, but if you want to leave the customers outside of the glass squeaky clean without any streaks, you're gonna want to have a microfiber cloth. They're not very expensive. I think I have like a 500 pack. It's insane. I got a ton of these. The next thing I have, and I think this is needed, is filter floss. So this is the chunk that I have left, but I have literally yards. I have a whole giant box full of this. But what I do with this helps me get the customer's water crystal clear without having to buy a UV sterilizer, or without having to make sure they have a certain kind of filter, or without me having to add those little droplets, those chemical drops that bind those small particles together. This allows me to get crystal clear water for my clients. All I do is I chop a small section off, maybe about this big, and I put it in their hang-on back filter, or if they have a canister filter, I cut it to size, put it in their canister filter. It all depends on what kind of filtration they have. But if you add a little bit of filter floss in there, it's going to capture all those fine particles that are floating in the water column that your normal filter media won't capture because it's so tiny. But when there's tons of them, it makes the water look not as clear. You add some of this, it takes care of that problem. So in my opinion, right, if you're looking to wow your customers, and that's what you should be doing, because that's how you're going to stay in business, and that's how you're going to get more business, make sure to get them crystal clear water. Easy, cheap way to do that, filter floss. Now the next thing we have in here are these melamine sponges. Now these are amazing at getting rid of algae and biofilm on the inside of the glass. I use one of these and I just wipe the glass like this. I wipe every square inch of the glass with one of these melamine sponges, and it can take care of about 90% of anything that's on the glass. I'll show you what I use next for those stubborn things, but this works just about all the time. I put my hand in, I do the scrubbing, and I'm done. And the best thing is I get these on bulk. You can probably get them for like $6 for like a 10 pack. Like, these things are amazing. I'll use them on my fish tanks. And the best part is you buy them in bulk, you can have a sponge for each customer that you have. And that way you're less likely to cross-contaminate anything if that happens to exist. And that's something you have to keep in mind as well. You don't want to introduce any diseases to any of your clients' houses or tanks, because that's just not a fun scenario to be in, right? Melamine sponges, great at cleaning algae. I highly recommend it. It's going to be linked in the description below, also if you're interested. The other thing I bring is obviously I have conditioner so that I can detoxify the heavy metals and chlorines after I do the water change. I also always bring with me some Paragard, and yes guys, all this stuff is coming out of this bag here. I have some Paragard. This is to treat, if I notice any fish acting weird, normally just an all-purpose treatment meds here would work, and so I really like Paragard. It doesn't treat everything, but it treats a lot of stuff. The other thing I have is the attachments to the siphon. Right, and so I can do a gravel vac with some of these attachments here just to make sure I get the substrate all nice and clean as well for them. And there's just a couple more things that I have in here. The other things I have is batteries. Normally if you're doing aquarium maintenance for someone, generally it's because they don't have the time to do it themselves. And normally with people like that, they normally also have an automatic feeder, right? And so automatic feeders are either plugged in or they need a battery. A lot of my clients have automatic feeders that need a battery. And so I will replace their batteries free of charge. And so I just keep a pack in there just in case, just to make sure everything's going smoothly. So I encourage you, bring some of these extra things along to really wow your customers. And you can build that into your price and just offer these things as freebies as it goes in. Your customer will be happy and things just go a lot smoother, right? Now, the other thing that I bring, and I think it's a must-have, are these razors here. Now, I have a pack of razors that I keep in this box. I don't want to cut myself. But if the melamine sponge can't get it off the glass, can't clean it, the razor blade will. Now razor blade works phenomenally. You got to be careful around the edges where there's silicone because you don't want to break or scratch any tank. But it does such a great job at getting rid of some of that hard to get algae. Some of that algae is tough to get off, or some of the hard water stains. This really helps with clearing that up. The other thing that I think is a must-have, especially if you're a one-man show. Now, if there's multiple people, you may not need this, but if you're a one-person show here, then I think you are going to need some type of clamp because you're going to need an extra pair of hands. And so when I use this is whenever, let me get my hose. So when the siphon is in the tank, what I do is I attach this to the rim of the tank and it holds the siphon in place. And that way, whenever I need to turn the water off, I can just run to the thing, I can turn it off, and I don't have to worry about this thing falling out and water getting all over the floor because I have a clamp, right? And so it makes it very easy to just leave it there while it's refilling or while it's draining. You need to run to the car, you need to check on something, you need to check another area of the tank, whatever it is, you have a third arm and you're really gonna need one. So having one of these, I think it's a requirement if you are a one-man show, because you're going to need an extra pair of hands at time just to make sure you're able to get through the cleaning in a timely manner. And guys, that is it. That's all I bring with me whenever I go to an aquarium client's house. All I bring is this bag with all the stuff that I showed you, right? And it's really not that much. And really how you make an impact is your effort on making sure that the water is clear and that the glass is clear. Get all the algae off, right? Do a proper water change. Add the stuff that needs to be added so that the water stays clear as well. Now I want to show you some things that I have on my phone as far as how I do invoices, how I do billings, and those type of things. Now what I use is QuickBooks. And QuickBooks costs me $30 a month. So if you're interested in looking into this option so that you can invoice your clients, you can easily download or I guess purchase a subscription to QuickBooks, and it's going to have everything you need on there. And so here's what QuickBooks looks like. If you can see that, it may not show up on the screen too well. but it's an easy way to invoice your clients. It will go right to their email, and then within that email they'll have a link to click on it, and they can pay by ACH, they can pay by debit card, they can pay by credit card, they can pay by Venmo, they can pay by Zelle. I think there's a PayPal option. There's lots of different options that you can use, and obviously you can use cash as well. But what I notice is that a lot of people who need aquarium maintenance are probably business customers, right? So they have a business and their aquarium is in their business, right? And so having an invoice is a game changer, because a lot of times I go to an aquarium maintenance, a client's house or business, and they're not there, right? I have a code to get in, I do my thing, and I leave, and you gotta have a way to send a payment that isn't just cash. Now, if you are just cash, you can make that work, but I think having some type of invoicing system is needed, right, and is very convenient and will allow you to capture more customers. Now, the last thing I'll tell you before we wrap up this video is, if you are thinking about starting an aquarium maintenance company, I highly encourage you guys to also do saltwater. Now, I only do freshwater, just because I don't want to expand that much, because I just want it to be a side thing. But the amount of calls that I get asking if I can maintenance their saltwater tank is significantly more than the calls I get for freshwater tanks. And so if you truly want to turn this into a business, then you also want to offer services to saltwater customers, because that's where most of your clients are going to come from. Not that you won't find clients in freshwater. There's plenty of them out there. Most of them are probably businesses, but you'll get more clients with the saltwater specialty, though. So, guys, I hope you liked this video. I hope this encouraged you to think a little bit. Maybe you can try something on the side. And if you do aquarium maintenance services on the side, leave it in the comments below. Let me know your experience. Let me know what you use. I would love to hear that. And until next time, guys, I'll see you.